Hey there. Welcome to a deep dive into YouTube.
Ooh, YouTube.
Specifically, we're going to be looking at how it's shaping the media landscape for the 25 to 34-year-olds out there.
Shaping the media landscape, all right.
We've got a really fascinating academic thesis to dig into.
Oh, yeah. Packed with insights, I bet.
And we're going to cover a lot of ground.
Let's do it.
So we'll be looking at everything from
this part.
how music videos have changed how we discover music.
How we connect with it.
Yeah. And the rise of gaming streams.
Don't forget those challenges.
Right. And even YouTube's role as this global cultural hub.
Oh, it's huge.
Hugely influential, right?
Absolutely.
Before we get into all of that, though, I want to share a really interesting fact.
Ooh, lay it on me.
You know how traditional media, like MTV, are always trying to stay relevant?
Always chasing those trends.
Well, even they've acknowledged the power of YouTube's viral music videos.
Wow.
That's how influential this platform has become.
That's a real power shift.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Let's unpack it. Okay, so let's start with that first big theme music videos.
Yes.
The research really dives into how they've completely changed music discovery and how we connect with music.
It's a whole new world.
It used to be all about the radio and MTV.
Ah, the good old days.
Right, but
Now it's all about the visuals, the storytelling, the artistry of it all.
it's multisensory, right?
Absolutely. A catchy tune is great.
Yeah.
But when you pair it with a compelling story,
Ooh.
you connect with that song on a whole other level.
The research mentions this, actually, how participants talked about feeling a deeper connection to a song
Yeah.
because the music video's story mirrored their own life.
Absolutely.
Powerful stuff.
Visuals add a whole other dimension to music. And it's not just about the storyline sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the aesthetics.
Right.
Think about the bold colors, the cinematic shots, even just the choreography.
Yeah, that can draw you into an artist's music.
For sure.
I can totally relate to that, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. There are definitely times when I've checked out an artist purely because
The visual.
the visuals, the style of the video just drew me in.
It creates a vibe, doesn't it? An atmosphere that goes beyond just the audio.
Yeah, it totally does. And then, of course, there's the whole phenomenon of going viral.
Ooh, yes.
That's where things get really interesting.
Let's talk viral.
All right, so we know catchy tunes plus eye-catching visuals
Ah.
can spread like wildfire online,
Wildfire.
catapulting a song to fame practically overnight.
Overnight sensations.
But how's that actually happening?
Well, think about the nature of YouTube itself.
Oh, okay.
It's incredibly easy to share those videos
Right.
across different platforms.
Yeah.
Plus, you've got those suggested videos
Yeah.
that are constantly popping up, feeding you new content.
Yeah, based on your watch history.
Exactly.
So one catchy video leads to another and another.
They fall down the rabbit hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
And that means more exposure for the artists.
So much exposure.
This viral effect isn't just fleeting, though it can actually shape long-term preferences.
Long term, wow.
Yeah, you get hooked by a video.
Wow.
Start exploring their whole catalog.
Right.
It's a gateway to a whole new musical world.
And there's research to back this up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's this one participant who discovered their new favorite band through a viral dance challenge.
Oh, that's cool.
It wasn't just the music.
It was the whole package.
It was everything. The audio,
The visual,
the social interaction.
all of it.
It's a powerful combination.
And speaking of social interaction,
Ooh.
the research also looks at how features like comments
Yes.
and live chats
Love those.
change the whole music video experience.
They really do.
So how is that actually happening? It's one thing to watch a video,
Yeah.
but what are the comments and chats actually doing?
It's about community. People are reacting,
Yeah.
discussing.
Debating.
It creates a shared experience that makes everything more enjoyable.
You're not just watching. You're part of a conversation.
You're part of something bigger.
Yeah. And the research highlighted how many people check the comments before and after a video.
Interesting.
It's like taking the temperature,
Yeah.
seeing what others are thinking.
Your perspectives.
Exactly. And with live chats,
Yeah.
during premieres, the engagement is happening in real time.
It's electric.
Imagine that energy you're sharing, the excitement of a new release with other fans.
Wow.
Maybe even the artists themselves.
It's like a virtual concert experience.
Right.
Everyone's tuned in together.
It's wild how technology can do that.
It really is.
YouTube has become a catalyst for community building around music.
It's taken fan culture to a whole new level.
To a new level.
The research even talks about
Yeah.
how people are forming incredibly tight-knit communities
I love that.
online, right around specific artists and genres,
So cool.
gathering in forums on social media.
All thanks to YouTube.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It goes beyond just individual videos. It's about recommendations, discovering new artists, even organizing real-life meetups.
That's that ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
Where the initial connection happens online,
Yeah.
but the impact goes beyond that.
It ripples out into the real world.
And this sense of community can lead to wider exploration, too.
Exploration of...
Musical styles and cultures.
Oh, tell me more.
People are sharing recommendations for international artists.
Oh, I love that.
Introducing each other to sounds they might never have encountered.
That's the beauty of it.
The research points out how some participants talked about discovering entire genres of music
Wow.
they never knew existed.
Because of YouTube.
Because of YouTube.
It's a universal language.
Music is.
Music is, and YouTube helps break down those barriers.
Yeah.
Connects people through shared passions.
It's not just about passively consuming music either.
Oh, no.
It's about actively participating.
Tell me more.
The research points out how people are creating their own content inspired by music videos.
Like what?
Covers remixes, dance challenges, all of that.
Yeah. It's inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah.
This creative feedback loop, the music video inspires more content creation.
And it keeps spreading.
It all ties back to that core insight.
Which is?
We're social creatures. Our interactions shape our tastes and help us discover new things.
Our interactions both online and offline.
Both.
It's not just our peers influencing us either.
Oh.
The research also points out the role of YouTubers themselves.
Ooh, the tastemakers.
The tastemakers, right? We're following influencers who curate playlists and recommend new artists.
They've built loyal followings.
Yeah, based on shared tastes and a sense of trust.
Right, so when they recommend something,
You check it out.
you trust their opinion.
It all ties together, the algorithms, the communities, those trusted voices.
It's shaping musical tastes in the digital age.
It's a fascinating landscape.
Ever evolving.
It really is.
Right.
But it's not just about music.
Oh,
Let's switch gears for a minute.
I'm ready.
Let's talk about how YouTube is changing the game when it comes to entertainment in general, particularly through interactive content.
All right, let's do it.
We're moving from music videos to gaming streams.
Yeah.
Live challenges.
They're all like good stuff.
All of it.
I'm ready.
What insights does the research offer on how this type of content is impacting viewer retention?
Ooh, good question.
Why are we so hooked on this stuff?
Stay tuned. Well, it all comes down to being in the moment, you know? Add that immediacy,
Okay.
live streams,
Yeah.
challenges.
Right.
They just grab your attention.
It's different, isn't it? It's not just watching.
No, it's being part of the experience.
As it happens,
As it unfolds.
imagine watching a gamer live stream.
Oh, yeah.
You're commenting,
Asking questions.
suggesting strategies.
In real time.
Yeah, you're right there in the game with them.
Exactly. And I bet those interactive features,
Right.
polls and Q&As, they keep people engaged.
Totally. Because it gives the audience a voice.
Yes, it makes them feel like they're part of something.
Yeah, when you can actively contribute, you're more invested in what you're watching.
You're not just passively watching something pre-recorded.
Right. It's totally different.
This constant feedback keeps things fresh and exciting.
Keeps the audience involved.
Makes them feel important.
And this isn't just a feeling. The research actually backs this up.
Oh, really? Data to prove it.
Yep. There's this study that found that a huge percentage, like 67% of viewers,
Wow.
are more likely to return to a streamer who interacts with them.
That makes sense. Platforms like Twitch.
Yeah.
They were built on this idea, and they see crazy high engagement.
Yeah, longer viewing times.
It's not just anecdotal.
The data's there.
Real-time engagement matters.
It really does.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the creators themselves for a sec.
Okay.
How are they impacting the viewing experience beyond just being live?
Well, they're masters at creating personalized experiences, you know?
Okay.
They build those communities. They're
Yeah.
authentic.
Yeah.
And they really tailor their content.
It's like they're creating these little worlds.
Yeah, little worlds that viewers want to join.
It's smart. The research shows that community-centric engagement builds strong connections.
70% of consumers feel a stronger connection to brands or influencers who engage this way.
It's huge. And you can't forget about the authenticity factor.
Authenticity is key.
People can spot a fake a mile away.
A mile away.
It's all about those genuine moments, the personal stories.
Of being vulnerable.
Exactly. When an influencer shares their struggles and triumphs, it makes them relatable human.
It builds trust.
And on top of that, they're really good at tailoring the content.
They know what their audience wants.
It's not random. They're using data
They use analytics,
to figure out what works.
demographics, preferences, the whole 9 yards.
It's all about personalized entertainment.
Exactly, giving the people what they want.
So it's not just about the content. It's about the connection.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And, while we're on the topic of connection,
Yeah.
let's zoom out a bit, look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
How is YouTube influencing the broader culture?
We've talked about individual impact.
Community impact.
Right.
But how about on a global scale?
Well, it's fascinating because it's become this massive stage for cultural exchange.
Okay.
It's breaking down geographical barriers.
Yeah.
Allowing people to connect with different cultures in ways we've never seen before.
Think about it. Someone in the U.S. can watch a traditional dance performance from India.
Yes.
Or cooking tutorials from Mexico, fashion shows from Korea, all at their fingertips.
It's like a melting pot.
A global melting pot.
And the algorithms play a role here, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Those recommendations can lead us down paths we might not have chosen on our own.
It expands our horizons.
It does. Instead of just consuming what's local or mainstream,
Right.
we're exposed to a whole world of different cultural expressions.
It's like a window into the world.
It is. And people aren't just passively watching either.
No.
They're leaving comments, sharing their thoughts.
Creating their own content.
It sparks a dialogue.
It enhances understanding between cultures.
And it leads to a deeper awareness of those cultural nuances.
People are asking questions, sharing insights.
Going beyond surface-level observations.
It's turning passive viewing into active learning.
I love that. And the impact on individual identities is also fascinating.
In what way?
As we explore international content, we start incorporating elements of those cultures into our own lives.
So it's not just about knowledge.
No, it's about personal growth.
Evolution.
Exact. Think about someone who watches K-pop videos and starts integrating Korean fashion into their style.
Or someone who learns a new recipe from a Thai cooking channel.
And starts using those flavors.
It's subtle but powerful.
These small influences shape who we are.
And how we express ourselves.
But of course, we have to acknowledge the responsibilities that come with this.
Like what?
Being mindful of cultural appropriation, avoiding misrepresentation.
Right.
YouTube is an amazing tool for connection.
Yeah.
But it's important to engage respectfully.
With a critical eye.
It's about appreciating and learning, but also being sensitive and aware.
So how does this all tie into our cultural consumption patterns?
Well, it starts with that exposure to international content. YouTube is this massive library of global culture,
Okay.
giving us access to things we might never have seen otherwise.
Breaks down those walls.
It expands our cultural palettes.
Instead of just consuming what's familiar,
Right.
we're exposed to a whole world of possibilities.
And this exposure can lead to some amazing things.
Give me an example.
A viewer discovers a dance challenge from another country
Yeah.
and then participates in it. They're not just observing.
Right, they're engaging.
Culture isn't static, it's always evolving, and YouTube is part of that.
That's a great point. It's like this global dance, trends and ideas are flowing back and forth.
Exactly, and the feedback loop on YouTube, the comments, the shares,
Yeah.
they contribute to how those cultural preferences take shape.
It's like a collective validation of certain things, but also a space for new things to emerge. It's not just about personal taste anymore. We're talking about shaping collective identities.
We're engaging in a shared cultural discourse.
That goes beyond borders.
Exactly. It's leading to new cultural movements and trends.
Think about global music genres like reggaeton or Afrobeat.
They gain traction on YouTube.
Yeah, embraced by a diverse audience.
It shows the power of the platform to incubate these new trends.
Break down barriers, connect people.
But we can't forget about those algorithms.
Oh, right, those algorithms.
Those recommendations heavily influence what we consume.
And our cultural preferences.
It's a double-edged sword.
In what way?
On one hand, it leads to amazing discoveries.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it can create those echo chambers.
Where we're only exposed to things that align with our existing views.
Exactly.
So we need to be aware of that bias.
And actively seek out diverse content.
It's about being an informed consumer.
Not letting the algorithm dictate everything.
Taking ownership of our cultural exploration.
Couldn't agree more, but let's zoom in a bit now.
Okay.
Let's talk about how those algorithms affect our behavior when choosing content.
Get into the nitty-gritty.
The nitty-gritty.
Because we know they're influencing our choices.
The research goes deep into how sophisticated these algorithms are.
They're analyzing everything.
Everything, your viewing history, your engagement, even your demographics.
It's all about giving you what they think you want.
It's like they're reading our minds.
Creating this personalized stream.
And there are a couple of key things at play.
Okay, break it down for me.
First, there's collaborative filtering.
Okay.
This looks at what people similar to you are watching and suggests videos based on that.
So if I'm always watching cooking videos
Yeah.
and someone else with similar taste is watching baking videos.
You might get a baking show recommendation.
Like that people who bought this also bought feature.
Exactly. It's all about finding patterns in user behavior
And using them.
to make recommendations.
Pretty clever. What's the other one?
Content-based filtering.
Okay.
This analyzes the videos themselves.
Titles, descriptions.
The titles, the descriptions, the tags, everything.
To find similar content.
Personal librarian.
So it's two approaches.
Two approaches.
Our behavior and the content itself.
And it taps into some basic psychology.
Okay, tell me about what's happening in our brains when we're scrolling through those recommendations.
Well, there's the bandwagon effect.
Yeah.
We're more likely to watch something if it seems popular.
Millions of views.
It must be good.
Right.
It's FOMO, fear of missing out.
We're social creatures. We want to be in the loop.
And then there's the availability heuristic.
The what?
Availability heuristic. We tend to think the recommended videos are the best options.
Just because they're right there.
Just because they're presented to us.
It's like going to a restaurant and only ordering from the specials menu.
You might miss some hidden gems.
Right. And while these recommendations can be great for discovering new things,
within our existing interests,
they can also lead to echo chambers,
limiting our viewpoints,
stifling our curiosity.
The research shows that these algorithms can impact our long-term habits.
Really?
If we're constantly fed similar content, our preferences get stronger.
It's like getting stuck in a rut.
Watching the same stuff over and over.
So are we getting a balanced media diet?
It's a good question.
We need to be aware of these potential pitfalls.
Even though algorithms can be helpful.
We need to be conscious consumers.
Absolutely understand how these systems work and make informed choices.
So it's a balancing act.
Balancing act.
Embrace the possibilities.
To be mindful.
And this all comes back to how YouTube is impacting how we approach entertainment.
It's changing the game.
How so?
The research dives into how YouTube is becoming the primary source of entertainment for many.
Really?
Especially those 25 to 34-year-olds.
More than traditional media.
It's surpassing it in a lot of ways.
So people are starting their day with YouTube instead of TV or radio.
Exactly. And there are a few reasons for this.
I'm listening.
First, the amount and variety of content is insane.
You can find anything.
Anything, and it's all right there at your fingertips.
It's like a personalized network.
Exactly, and it's not just passive viewing either. The comments, the likes, the ability to connect with creators.
Builds community?
A sense of community that traditional media just can't match.
One participant even talked about feeling a sense of belonging.
Really?
In the communities around their favorite YouTube channels.
It's that human connection.
That keeps people coming back.
And let's not forget YouTube's ability to evolve.
They're always adapting.
Always introducing new features.
YouTube Shorts.
Staying ahead of the curve.
Keeping people engaged.
Speaking of evolution, we can't forget about YouTubers themselves.
Those content creators.
They're stars.
The research actually shows that viewers often feel a stronger connection with YouTubers
than with traditional media personalities.
It's that relatability factor again.
They're authentic.
They share their lives,
their experiences,
and people connect with that.
It changes the whole dynamic of entertainment.
It's not just what you're watching.
It's who you're watching it with.
Even if it's virtually.
Exactly. But of course, it's not all perfect.
Right.
There are some challenges.
Like what?
Content quality, misinformation, addictive viewing habits.
That makes sense. It's a powerful platform, but we need to be critical.
We do. The research mentions how some people felt like they went down a rabbit hole.
Led by the algorithm.
Watching things they didn't plan to.
It's like the algorithm had a mind of its own.
It's a fine line between personalization and losing control.
So again, it's about finding that balance.
Enjoying the good.
Being mindful of the bad.
Speaking of algorithms, they're not just shaping our entertainment choices.
They're influencing our overall preferences.
Exactly. It's not just what we watch now,
but what we like in the future.
The study found that YouTube's recommendations are really impacting viewer choices.
Wow.
Guiding people towards specific genres, creators, even trends.
It's like a subtle nudge.
A nudge that can have a big impact.
And a lot of people said their tastes actually change because of those recommendations.
You discover new things.
It can be a positive thing.
It can, but what happens when we only engage with what's recommended?
Echo chamber.
We limit our exposure.
The research highlighted that pressure to conform to trends.
People felt like they had to watch trending videos.
Even if they weren't interested.
It's FOMO again.
That need to be in the now.
And it can lead to just consuming content because it's popular.
Not because you actually like it.
It ties into how YouTube shapes those trends.
You see something trending, you watch it.
It spreads.
The research points to examples like dance challenges and memes.
Starting on YouTube, then going everywhere.
It's a reminder of YouTube's power.
It's not just entertainment.
It shapes the cultural conversation.
And it raises questions about user autonomy.
As we rely more on algorithms.
Are we losing our ability to explore independently?
It's a valid concern.
We need to be aware of this.
And make sure we're not limiting ourselves.
The study emphasizes the need for critical media literacy skills.
Understanding how those recommendations work.
Recognizing bias.
Choosing carefully.
Being active participants.
Not just passive recipients.
Take control of your cultural diet. Seek out diverse content. And embrace the possibilities while staying informed and critical.
That's a great point. But I think we need a quick break.
Upright.
When we come back, we'll wrap up our deep dive with some key takeaways and a final thought for you to consider. Welcome back. We've been exploring how YouTube is impacting the media landscape for those 25 to 34-year-olds.
It's been a deep dive.
It really has.
It's a fascinating one.
Before we wrap up, let's revisit some of those key takeaways.
The aha moments.
What stood out to you?
Well, one thing that really struck me was how YouTube has changed how we experience music.
It's not just listening anymore, is it?
No, it's a visual, interactive experience.
We talked about those visual elements, the storytelling, the artistry.
It all plays a role in how we connect.
Right, and then you add in the comments, the live chats, those fan communities.
It creates a space to connect.
And it influences our tastes.
In ways we might not even realize.
And those online connections can shape our real-world experiences too.
Absolutely.
But let's not forget about how entertainment itself has evolved.
YouTube has pushed the boundaries with live streaming, gaming those challenges.
And the research pointed to those core elements.
Real-time engagement, feeling like you're part of it, the connection with creators.
It's different from traditional media.
Completely. And speaking of creators,
Those influencers,
they're impacting the viewing experience too.
their authenticity, community building, personalized content.
It's a game changer.
They've created these engaging, personalized experiences.
That traditional media just can't match.
But let's zoom out for a minute.
Okay.
Think about the global impact,
YouTube bridging those cultural divides.
giving us access to a world of content.
Content we might never have seen otherwise.
Imagine someone in the U.S. watching a dance performance from India.
Or learning a recipe from Italy. It's incredible.
It's like a window into different cultures.
And those algorithms play a role too,
Recommending content from around the world.
helping us break out of our bubbles.
It's a reminder that we're all connected.
Culture is constantly evolving.
And YouTube is part of that evolution. But with all this talk about algorithms,
Yes,
we have to remember to be mindful consumers.
we do as we rely more on those recommendations.
We need to be aware of those biases.
The echo chambers.
It's about making conscious choices.
Seeking out diverse content.
So finding that balance.
Appreciating the convenience, but staying aware.
It's clear that YouTube is a driving force in entertainment.
Shaping the future.
It's encouraging new forms of content,
New ways to tell stories.
new ways to connect,
It's like an incubator for innovation.
creators pushing boundaries, viewers shaping trends.
We talked about short films, ASMR, interactive content.
And it's not just online.
Right.
YouTube is influencing traditional media too.
It's blurring the lines.
New trends, new formats, even creators crossing over.
It's exciting.
It really is. But why should our listener care about this?
Well, this generation, the 25 to 34-year-olds, they're leading the way.
When it comes to digital media,
And their habits are shaping the culture.
it's a glimpse into the future,
It's about understanding those forces,
the opportunities and challenges.
becoming conscious consumers
In a world full of content, we need to be mindful
of what we consume,
how it shapes us.
our perspectives, our identities.
That's a great point to end on, but before we go,
Yes,
one final thought.
a question to ponder.
All of this research focused on that 25 to 34 demographic.
Right.
But what about other age groups?
Teenagers, older generations.
How is YouTube influencing them?
What are the unique dynamics?
What does it mean for the future of media?
It's something to think about.
As we navigate this evolving landscape.
Thanks for joining us.
Until next time.